Speaker McCarthy, good to see you. I was downgrading you. Congratulations, by the way, on the big speaker's win. I haven't spoke to you since. Talk to me about the negotiations that are coming on Wednesday with Joe Biden. And I'm doing a two-part question for you, which I know you don't like. But are the Republicans all sticking together? You got a small majority. You guys all like rallying and fighting together on this thing?
Yes, but first, let me congratulate the two of you. I am so excited to be on the hottest new show on television, and you guys are killing it. I love you both, and I'm so excited for what happens in the future. So let me do a good job so you'll invite me back, okay?
Absolutely.
Yes, we call him in on Wednesday. For the president to say he doesn't want to negotiate something this large, I mean, when you think back to 2011 when he was vice president, they even called the negotiations after the debt, over the debt ceiling, the Biden negotiations. I mean, to think that the president believes there's no place in government you can't cut and have a savings for the hardworking taxpayers. There's so much waste out there. And we've got to put ourselves back on a trajectory that balances. Think about this. We are at 120% of GDP to our debt. We haven't been this place since World War II. That means our debt is larger than our economy. It's like giving your child a credit card. They charge it up. You're responsible for the charges, but do you just raise the limit, or do you look at what are we spending on and let's eliminate some of this? Every family does it, every business, every state, every county. And when I go see the president, that's exactly what I'm going to tell him. We need to sit down together, find common ground, find where we can eliminate the waste, and let's put our country back on a path where we can balance and give our future brighter than before. Our Republican Party, it made it look like we were fighting when we first came in. I think that actually turned out to be very healthy because we only have a 5-seat majority. Unfortunately, Greg Stubbe's home for a couple weeks. He fell out of a tree. So we're going to work very closely together, and I think you're going to find us more united than ever before. Think about what we did the first week. Bipartisan, created the new Select Committee on China, got 146 Democrats with us, got 113 Democrats to vote with us to stop this president from selling oil out of our reserves to China. We just had, for the first time in 7 years, an open process on the floor where anybody can offer an amendment. The Democrats were shocked because they'd never allow you to do that.
Mr. Speaker, all of the spending by the Democrats created this runaway inflation. Exactly. And you and the Republicans are trying to rein in spending. But Democrats, while most Americans have not gotten a raise adjusting for inflation, the Democrats have proposed in the House a raise of 8.7% for federal workers.
Yes. And, you know, federal workers got the same raise as those in the military, over 4% before.
Right.
And the real challenge here, though, is we're putting a bill on the floor to end this pandemic. Do you realize that 47% of the federal employees are still not in for work? When we took the majority and I became Speaker, one of my first actions was make members of Congress to come back to work. For the first time in history, members of Congress didn't have to show up, and they kept getting paid. I think people have to show the work ethic. I think people should show up to work. And we're going to pass that bill this week that brings those federal employees back to work to provide the service that they're getting, that the taxpayers are paying them for. I mean, think of this. You're right, that the Democrats, when they were in the majority for those 4 years, they increased discretionary spending by 30%, $400 billion. When Sean and I were in the majority as congressmen, and we were in the majority for 8 years, you know how much higher the discretionary spending went up in those 8 years? Zero. It went down $10 billion. That's the difference between us. In 8 years, no increase. In 4 years, by 30%, which brought us inflation, which brought us our economic problems where you can't afford the eggs or others. And we're going to change all that in this negotiation.
Before you move on, I just wanted to note, I apologize for my home state because one of the co-sponsors of this bill was a Congressman, Jerry Connolly, from my home state, a Democrat, and he went as far as to say that federal workers deserve this raise and need this raise because of the cruel personal attacks under Donald Trump, the former president. So I just wanted to note that's why federal workers deserve a raise of almost 9%. But Sean,
I don't
continue.
think, Mr. Speaker, you're going for that. But you're making a good point, which is the fact that the Democrats racked up this credit card And now they're coming to you in the majority and say, hey, Speaker McCarthy and Republicans in this new majority, we want you to pay the bill for us with no spending cuts, which makes no sense to me. But Joe Biden keeps talking about this being catastrophic if you don't raise the debt limit. Well, if it was catastrophic, wouldn't he sit down and negotiate? Wouldn't he take a position of, Kevin, I got some things I really love here. You have some things that you love, but let's figure out how we move forward. Digging your heels in is never good politics, is it?
It's not. And look, we've hit the statutory debt limit, but let's be honest, there's hundreds of billions of dollars, so this doesn't come to fruition to sometime in June. Now would be the perfect opportunity to sit down, just as the way our founders designed our government. You have to find compromise. The voters decided Republicans would be in the majority in the House. He has the presidency, and the Democrats have a small majority in the Senate. So the only person who's being irresponsible that could affect the markets is the president by being that spoiled child said, I will not talk, I will not meet. You know, you just have to raise the debt limit. It sounds like a 13-year-old daughter that you gave a credit card and she charged it all up and just wants to spend more. That's not the way
Talk
government
about my kids,
works.
Mr. Speaker.
Well, I know you got a lot of them, and I love them all.
By the way, fear-mongering straight out of the White House, if it causes long-term interest rates to go up, you are directly impacting the cost of borrowing for a home for all Americans.
Joe Biden.
If that language causes markets to move, be careful. Not you, but
exactly.
President.
Well, think about what he's doing if he doesn't find a path to put us onto balance. Our largest payment in the future will be our debt.
Yeah.
Our debt is larger than our economy. We haven't had this since World War II, but in World War II, we borrowed all this money to save our nation and save the world. And right after the war was over, it collapsed. Right now, what they're spending their money on is not the way that we would invest properly.
So can we switch gears in here, Mr. Speaker, because I can't get enough of this story. Representative Adam Schiff, Eric Swalwell, and Ilhan Omar, they took to the media airwaves this last weekend about your decision to remove them from their committee assignments. Take a listen to this.
This is some Bakersfield BS. It's Kevin McCarthy weaponizing his ability to commit this political abuse.
I don't accept the premise that this has anything to do with the conduct of any of the Democratic members. This is merely the weakness of Kevin McCarthy's speakership, that he's so reliant on these extreme members.
To smear someone and their character, their love for their country, and the work that they get to do on a committee is wrong, and it is politically motivated.
Mr. Speaker, I didn't hear any of these three Democrats make those kind of speeches when Nancy Pelosi took Marjorie Taylor Greene off of every single committee, or Paul Gosar off every single committee. They actually applauded it, and now what, they're offended that they lost, one of their prize committees?
And think about this. This has nothing to do with the latter, that them removing people. I'm talking about the Intel Committee. Sean, you know this. This is where the classified information is given. Well, when we had Swalwell, the Democrats appointed it to it, the FBI came to us and warned Congress. This person has a relationship with a Chinese spy. I got the briefing when I became leader. He can't get a security clearance in the private sector. We should not have him on Intel. And for him to claim it's Bakersfield BS, they're attacking the rural voters. You've been to Bakersfield.
Beautiful.
And you know what's interesting? Integrity matters. And we looked at Schiff as the chair. We watched the number of times he lied to the American public. So they can be on other committees, they can't be on Intel. But Congresswoman Omar, she said, when it came to foreign affairs, this is how the rest of the world looks at America. She said it was all about the Benjamins. She equated the American military to Hamas or the Taliban. She goes after on 9/11, something happened that day. Look, they could be on other committees and they're allowed to. That's the difference between Republicans and Democrats.
You're too nice, Mr. McCarthy. I would have kicked him off all committees, but that's just me. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dick.
Also, Swalwell, I would not expect him to know this because he's, well, I'm going to edit myself, Mr. Speaker, but
That's
when you insult Bakersfield, you insult Buck Owens, and you insult all...
Merle Haggard.
Well, yeah, and you insult not country, but Western, and we love both kinds. Yep. So he is a dippity-doo-dah.
I am born and raised in Bakersfield, and I could not be prouder.
Exactly.
Don't you have those little kids? You grow the little carrots there, right? The little mini carrots? Is that
That's right.
Yeah.
And for the world to know, 2 families, now they have sold, they grow 80% of all the carrots in the country. And you know those little carrots? They're really just big carrots. We chop them, charge you a little more, and you buy them, and we thank you for America for them.
You do know Bakersfield a little too well.
I was there with the speaker.
Yeah.
Before we go, here's a gem from Congressman Liu that happened at the end of last week. With gas prices climbing, I think gas prices are up 32 cents in the last month. They're still up from a year ago.
They're over $1.20 since the president's
Right,
been there.
exactly. But here's what Congressman Ted Lieu had to say about Joe Biden and gas.
I can summarize this debate of the last 2 days into one sentence. Joe Biden lowered your gas prices, and Republicans are upset about it. That's what this is about. We should be giving the president even more flexibility to use the Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
Before we go, Mr. Speaker.
I will tell you, they just put out lies. I mean, think about what this president has done. Brought us the biggest inflation in 41 years by their spending, and now he doesn't want to negotiate about it. He's opened a border that now people on the terrorist watch list, more come across the country in 1 month than came across under Trump's 4 years. He sells our Strategic Petroleum Reserve. They're supposed to be reserved for when we have an emergency to China. We've watched it time and again where he criticized former presidents for having classified documents. He's had him in his garage when he was a U.S. senator. Sean, you know this. I don't know any member that could walk out of a skiff with top secret documents, but he did.
It's impossible.
I mean, time and again, he has failed this nation, but luckily the American voter has changed course in the House, and we are going to stand up and keep our commitment to America. Make sure you're safe on this border, bring us energy independence, let parents have a say in their kids' education, and yes, we're going to hold this government accountable. Speaker
Kevin McCarthy, great to see you.
Thank you,
so
Mr.
much
Speaker.
for joining us.
Congratulations on the great show. I'm watching it. You look fabulous, and I'm really excited. I hope you invite me back.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You are the best.
So much.
We appreciate it.